Welcome back to the morning show, you guys. The sun can be pretty bright, right, Emily?
Yeah. Don't want to stare into it.
Exactly, but kind of it can hurt your eyes too. And you know, U of I physics professor Matt Sullen is here for our Wise Guys Wednesday. So, Matt, teach us about the sun and all that jazz.
Right. Well, there's a reason we're doing this now.
Correct.
That's because there's 2 Wednesdays before the big exciting event, which is happening August 21st, which is
The eclipse.
the eclipse. Exactly.
Yes.
And this is a very, very rare eclipse at that, because the totality goes entirely through the United States. It kind of comes on to our coast up in the Pacific Northwest and comes down through southern Illinois, down through Tennessee, and leaves in the Carolinas. So it's very exciting.
Yes.
So now, everybody knows, and by the way, next week we're going to have some real astronomers in here to talk about the eclipse.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be out of this world.
So before then, though, I want to talk about staring at the sun, because we kind of know that's a bad idea, right? And there are billions of people on Earth, and ever since you're little, nobody goes, oh, look, I'm going to stare at the sun, because it would destroy your eyeballs if you did that.
Yes,
and so during an eclipse, when the sun is partly blocked for some of the time, or maybe mostly blocked for some of the time, it's still the sun, right? You still can't stare at it. So how do you want to look at this thing? Because there's so much energy that comes out of that sun. And so the best thing to do is to go get some of these very fashionable eclipse glasses.
I will model them.
And you can get them at the planetarium right here in Parkland Planetarium in town.
You can't see anything through those right now, right?
Yeah.
Right? And for like a buck or something. And the way you know that they're good eclipse glasses is if you put them on and you see nothing.
These are good.
Okay, and also you look for the certification label that they're actually certified eclipse glasses.
Okay.
So otherwise that, you know, they may be somebody trying to rip you off or something. Not that they're expensive or anything. Okay, so the sun will burn your eyes if you look at it. And so what I wanted to actually, so I have a picture of the sun that I took, which is picture number 1, if we could bring that up.
Sure.
Yesterday, there we go, yesterday morning. So all I did was get out my iPhone.
Okay.
And I put it on the other side of these glasses, and I put it right up to the sun, and I took a picture, and that's what the sun looks like. So if you have eclipse glasses like this, you can actually look up at the sun, and you'll see this beautiful orange little disc.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you can actually use these to look at the sun. You can, if there's spots that are lots of sunspots, you might be able to see those and things like that. So that's pretty cool. All right. Now, I made a movie yesterday too of what happens if number 2.
We have
Here
that
we go.
movie. I know.
Yeah, so we're going to play that movie, and so this is a simulation of your eyeball. Oops, there we go.
There we go.
So this is a lens that, just like the lens that's in your eye. And it's put at the right distance from that piece of paper, and on the other side of at the top right of this picture is the sun. And you'll see what happens there. You get enough energy through from the sun just hitting this little magnifying glass, and so that I have in my hand right now. Oh, are we back? There we go. Okay, right. So I'm looking at the picture.
Oh,
so
wow, we got the real
This
product,
is it, and this is
life.
the real piece of paper.
There's a burn.
And so it just burned a hole through that piece of paper, so that basically this magnifying glass behaves the way your eye behaves. So you could burn a hole in your, I mean, you know, this is your retina essentially. So that tells you why you don't want to do that. Okay. Now, a really great way to look at the sun where you don't even need glasses like this. Glasses are a great idea, but maybe you can't get them at the last minute, is a thing called a pinhole camera.
And what's that?
A pinhole camera is just a little tiny hole in a piece of paper.
Okay.
And it actually works really great. And in fact, what most people don't realize is that a little tiny hole in a piece of paper behaves just like a lens. It acts exactly the way this does, or your glasses do. And if you wear glasses and you take them off, things are fuzzy. If you just take a piece of paper with a hole in it and stare through that hole, whatever you're looking at will be clear. It behaves just like your glasses do. Okay, and so for me, when I'm in the shower sometimes, right, you want to figure out which is a conditioner and which is the shampoo.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing my glasses. Right, so what I'll do is you just make a little hole with your fingers like this, and you stare through it like that, and then you can read. It actually works.
It's pretty true, guys.
Right. So you could try it. Okay, so anyways, I have a pinhole camera like you can make yourself. I just made it out of a big
do-it-yourself
cardboard box.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to actually show how this works here. Okay, so I'm going to turn it so you can see. Right. So on this side of the box, I'm going to come around here.
Okay.
There I am. Okay, so here we go. There's a little tiny hole that I just made with a thumbtack right there. And then over here is a sheet of paper. So if I just take a bright flashlight and I shine it at that little hole, there you see inside on that piece of paper, you see the image. And in fact, what you see is you can see the middle of the image is the LED that's very bright, and then there's a dark part around the LED, and then there's the mirror. So it actually focuses what's actually inside there. I have another hole that's a little bit smaller. So now you can see 2 images.
Oh, cool.
And notice something interesting. They're the same size, but the one on the bottom is just a bit dimmer.
And why is that?
Because that hole is just a little smaller.
Okay.
So less light goes through the hole. And if I have a whole bunch of holes,
secrets.
like this, then you see a whole bunch of
cool.
images. Okay.
Wow.
So then I have my Eclipse simulator. Here we go.
Okay.
It's just a flashlight with a piece of cardboard in front of it that looks like the Eclipse now. So now, let me go over here.
Oh my gosh.
And if I shine this thing, you can see through each hole, you see the eclipse.
This is so cool.
Isn't that cool?
I'm over the moon about this, Matt.
Right. And so you can actually see the eclipse by making a camera like this. But what's even cooler is that I remember years ago there was a partial eclipse here in town, and my kid was in school, and what we did, we just took the kids outside and had them look at the ground, because the light's shining through the trees. There's leaves on the trees.
Sure.
And that makes like a bunch of little apertures, just like pinholes, and if you just look at the shadows on the ground, you'll see hundreds and thousands of little tiny crescents during the eclipse just from the light shining through the leaves of the tree.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's really, really neat, actually.
So it sounds like there's a lot of ways that you can kind of, if you can't like watch the eclipse, maybe just simulate it.
Right. So, well, you can see the actual eclipse by just looking at shadows, by making a hole in a piece of cardboard and having that just shine. The nice thing about the sun is that it's so bright that you, even through a little tiny hole, you get enough light that you can see the sun and you can watch the whole eclipse. Just don't look this way. So if you make one of these things, here's what you do. Let me demonstrate. Suppose the sun is toward you guys, okay?
Sure.
I'm going to go like this, okay? I'm going to put this thing over my head.
Okay.
And the sun is shining in this side, hitting, and I'm looking at the other direction. So I'm not looking at the sun through the little hole. The little hole just acts like a camera, and it projects a picture on this side, just like I showed before. Okay, so that's how you make this pinhole camera.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, you know what, Matt? We're going to learn more about the eclipse next week.
Yes,
you
you
guys.
are.
And you got to watch that next Wednesday with Matt's and a professional.
Yes, we're going to have the chair of the astronomy department actually is going to come in and talk about this, who's a real expert in this stuff, much smarter than I am, and so you'll really learn about the eclipse.
Yeah, but does he have the Hawaiian shirts? That's the question. Well, thanks, Matt, so much for joining us today, Wise Guys Wednesday. We'll be right back with more of The Morning Show.